Hello, hello, my friends. Good afternoon. Hello, hello. I'll hang out just for a second. Happy Monday. It is gorgeous here, and we spent the weekend at the farm where it was gorgeous. I went on a hike to DL Mountain, which is just lit up right now. It's so pretty. And I went on a few mile hike, which was awesome. Met some fun people on the trail. I was walking on the trail. It was so fun. I was walking on the trail, and I have these favorite walking sticks. And my spirit's like, "You're going to give those away today." And I was like, "I don't want to give my walking sticks away." And then I met this lady, and she was coming down the hill, and she's older. And I just kept seeing this picture of her rolling down the hill, and her sister kind of was laughing at me. And she goes, "Hey, would you rent those walking sticks to us?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not going to rent them to you, but I think you should use them." So I just handed them over because I was like, if this is going to help you walk and enjoy yourself and not flip on down the hill, like take it, just take it. And walking sticks are cheap. Walmart, they're like $20. But it was fun to meet her, and she was just appalled that I gave her my sticks. She just couldn't believe someone would do that. I'm like, dude, just take the sticks and go enjoy your walk. It's gorgeous out. Just have some fun. So it was fun to pay some fun forward this weekend. All right, say hello to me in the comments so I know that you are here. There you go. Now you guys are showing up. Hello, hello. I see Jen and Alyssa and Michelle. Today, we are going to pull some cards. I wanted to pull some cards. I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about. So if there's something you want me to talk about this week, you let me know. But then I heard do some card pulls. So let's do some card pulls today. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I want to grab one more link. I did put my link in there for my store. So if you are interested in some oracle cards, I have created several decks over the years. They're all very simple, very easy. My Naughty Spirit deck is my number one seller, of course. And they're great stocking stuffers. Okay. All right. So how many of you use tarot decks, oracle cards, affirmation decks? How many of you enjoy those? How many of you have lots and lots of decks? They kind of become a little bit of an obsession. I know lots of people that collect a lot of different kinds of decks because they're so fun. Sometimes. Yep, I know Cindy uses them. I know Alyssa uses them. Yeah, a lot of people. So a little bit of difference between oracle cards and tarot decks, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I actually I've met some amazing tarot deck readers that I meet at the expos and shows and different places. When I tried to learn, when I went to learn the tarot deck, I was like, no, it's too much to learn. Not interested. It was just too much. I just didn't want to do it. And I don't know. I just didn't want to do it. It was very funny. It was a very, very clear no, thank you. And it's not that I don't like tarot decks, because I do. I think they're amazing. I also think it's super fun to meet a tarot deck person that reads them from a state of a higher vibe reading, not so much fear-based. There's a lot of fear-based tarot deck readers. I don't love that side of it. And a lot of people are scared of tarot decks because they don't go learn about it. So they kind of put their own fear into it, or they've seen it on movies or whatever. I have nothing against tarot decks. Just find a good reader. And not a ton of I don't know a ton of them. I just know a few of them. And so I actually really appreciate a good tarot reading sometimes. I think it's fun. I prefer oracle decks. So oracle decks are the kind of deck that you could just pull a card for the day. And you can play with the intuition of it. You could do a 3-card draw, or you could do a month, or you could do a card for every year to kind of look at your year. There's a million different ways you can do oracle decks. Tarot cards have more rules, more boundaries around it. They have more specifics around them, where oracle decks, I think, just have more freedom. I think they're easy. I think they're easy to intuit. They're a great tool. A lot of people that use the decks don't need the decks. They just like the focus. Anytime you use a tool like a pendulum or a deck or dowsing rods or crystals, like that's just your focus point. And it kind of opens the door to your intuition. You don't always need them. But when you first start, it's such a great tool. And it helps you create some confidence in the information that you're getting, because a lot of times you'll get the card and then you'll get the message around the card. So I really love using oracle decks. I love teaching newbies to use oracle decks because I think it's a safe way, and it feels really safe, because if you pick up a deck and you like it, you know immediately. If you pick up a deck and you're like, oh, I don't know what that deck is, but I don't want it, you put it away. So I actually really, really like decks. I think they're really, really fun. I have some very easy ones in my website, so take a peek at them. All right, let's see what you guys are saying over here. I enjoy them, don't use them as much as I would like. Yep, start pulling a card every day just to see. One of the things that I do, that I started doing a long time ago, is instead of, I would pull a card in the morning, but I wouldn't look at it. And then in the evening, I would go look at it to see how my day lined up with the card. Instead of pulling a card, you can, when you pull a card in the morning, you can either receive the message in a positive way, or you can create a message around it that maybe isn't as supportive as it's meant to be. So I would pull the card, I'd keep it face down, and at the end of the day, I would kind of think about my day, how it went, the things that happened, how I handled it, and then I would pick a card, and then I would read the card. That's an interesting way to also check in on your mindset. Okay. Have a few decks, have many decks. Yep. Oh, Jenny, you don't have any. Well, you got to get some decks, ladies. Trying to make my own, but can't find where to publish so people can buy on demand. I don't know how either, Marissa. We use a guy to print them out of Colorado, so you can always message me for his information. He's great. But print on demand, I don't know. I don't do that, so I don't know. Maybe someone on here might have some ideas for you. I know the Osho deck is really pretty. I actually have used that deck. Alyssa says, my massage therapist and I do tarot before my massage and have a spirit somatic led body work. That's cool. Cindy loves oracle cards too. Yep, the medicine deck is really fun with the animals. There's so many different decks. Like there are fairy decks and crystal decks and animal decks. Stephen Farmer has a deck for children. I actually got to have lunch with him years and years and years ago. And it just happened. Like he knew the people I was with and I was invited. And he is the nicest dude. His energy is so peaceful and calm. But he has a deck for children that I really like. It's simple. It's animals. It's very simple messages. There's even one that says clean your room. I'm like, oh, I got to have this. But he's the only one that I've seen so far that actually has a kid's deck that I was drawn to. I haven't really found one through the years. I actually would like to make one at some point. But I do like his children's deck. So if you're looking for a deck for kids, I like Stephen Farmer's. All right. So what I'm going to do today, I'm just listening. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have you guys pick 2 numbers. Okay. Between 1 and 5. And I want you to put it in the comments. So when I get a deck, I spend a lot of time shuffling it. While you guys pick and put in the comments, I'm going to just talk a little bit. So when I pick a deck or get a new deck, I spend a lot of time shuffling it. Oftentimes they're really stiff, right? And so I like to put my energy into them. And like right now you can tell like my thumb is going on them as I kind of break it apart. This is a new deck. And I break them apart that way, and I shuffle them, and I mix them up. I hold on to them for a long time. Some people sit with them against their chest. If you're just joining us, we're picking 2 numbers between 1 and 5. I want you to have 2 numbers between 1 and 5. Okay. I'm going to pick them as a group, but your reading will, oops, woo. If cards fly out, then that's one of your cards. So that'll be our bonus card. So anytime a card flies out of the deck, I pay attention. There are some days where I'm just moving decks around, like I have some shelves and stuff that if I do have clients over here, they can go look and see if they want to purchase anything. And if I'm moving a deck and a card flies out, it's a message for the day. Now, one of the reasons I created the Naughty Spirit deck was because I have a little temper sometimes. I get snotty sometimes. I don't want to listen to spirit sometimes. I have an attitude sometimes. And my very first deck, when I was creating the Wonderment deck, I kept thinking, me and the designer, actually, we were kind of laughing because I was like, I really should have a naughty deck. Like, this is a nice deck and rainbows and unicorns deck, but I really think I need a naughty deck for those days when I'm being kind of jerky, and I still want the insight from spirit. I need an attitude change typically. And when me and my new designer, Angela, made these, it was hilarious. Eli didn't know what to do with me because for 2 weeks, it was like we were obsessed. And sometimes Oracle decks can take months to create. The Naughty Spirit deck came out in 2 weeks, and we went through so many photos of naughty angels. And we were laughing so hard when we were coming up with these. Like, we giggled and laughed and were trying to pick this picture, and we were hearing the messages come through. Like, it was just it was super fun. And then the decks came, and Eli opened one of them, and he started to laugh. And he goes, people are either going to love these or hate these, which is kind of my work. People either love it or hate it. And he started laughing, and he's like, you are going to offend some people with this, and some people are just going to love it. And I agree. So this is not a deck for everybody. If you do not like swear words, this is not the deck for you. If you have little ears in the room, this is not for them to listen to. I'll put it up to the screen, but this is a naughty deck. Okay. Oh, your cat has to pull one? That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm a feisty Leo, so this is definitely, if you have Leos in your life, this is a good deck for them. I also will always shuffle my decks until they tell me I'm done. Like I won't shuffle it, and then I could start pulling cards now, but it doesn't feel right because I still need to shuffle. Okay. Yep, Oracle decks are great to give you a little direction. I think Oracle decks, I do think you need to pay attention what kind of mindset you're in, because just like any other spiritual tool, I do feel like you can influence them. You can influence dowsing rods. You can influence a pendulum. You can influence any spiritual tool out there. So if you have a really fear-based mindset, you're going to create a really fear-based message from the cards. And it's my belief that is not what the cards are meant for. The cards are not a warning. The cards are not to scare you. The cards are not fear-based. People don't create, I suppose some people do, but people don't create oracle cards to scare you. So remember that. If you're in a really bad mood, maybe it's not the time for cards. So you learn to decipher that piece too, because there's some days where I'll pull a card and I'll be like, fuck you. And then later I'll be like, yeah, that card was right. You know, so be mindful, you guys, when you use these tools, because you and your mindset and your vibration and where you are influences that. Okay. That's why sometimes for some people, it is good to get readings from them, from people they trust. Because if you have a good reader, they're not going to read that part. They're going to get the message and give that to you. Does that make sense? Okay. So you guys all got your cards. If you're just coming on live, I want you to pick 2 numbers between 1 and 5. Okay. You also don't want to use pendulums, dowsing rods, cards, any of that kind of stuff when you're desperate. It's not the time to make take action or make a decision when you're in that desperation. That might be more of a time to see a counselor or a therapist or talk to your friend or get a session. So you get to learn yourself on which tools work for you when. Sometimes a counselor is needed over an oracle card. Sometimes an oracle card works. Okay. Okay. So we have that card. So I'm going to pick card number 1. And you're supposed to have 2 numbers between 1 and 5. So I'm going to pick 5 cards total. These are great cards. Okay. Card number 1. And I also want to know if it resonates or if it kind of hits you. Okay. If it's like, oh, yeah. Okay. So card number 1. Be your own hero. Isn't that true? Like, it's great to have heroes out in the world. That's great. But how about you be your own? How about you do what you need to do for you, get the support systems around it, and be your own hero? I love that. Okay, so if you pick card number 1, let me know if that makes sense. Be your own hero. Okay. Card number 2. Boy, a lot of you did 3 and 5. Okay. Card number 2. This is going to make sense for some of you. Meditate that bullshit out. There's a few of you on here that need to meditate. And when you're meditating, you guys, it's not to get the messages. It's to get the connection and to let that connection wash all the shit away. Just let the light come in. Because the more light you bring in, it pushes out the denseness. Okay? So number 2, meditate that bullshit out. And here's Naughty Spirit, by the way. I forgot to show you guys. Is he not perfect? I'm trying to find the real Naughty Spirit. Like a guy that looks like this, and I would love to put him in my marketing, hold in my decks. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Yep, meditate it out. If meditation has been on your heart for a week, girl, then you better just stop letting it sit there. Meditate. Okay? Because that's going to help some of the struggles you're in right now. I left you a little message on your thing too. That's going to help. I know, right? Marissa goes, can you set me up with Naughty Spirit when you find him? I got to find him first. I've been looking. There was a guy on, I think it was TikTok. And I was like, oh my God, he looks just like Naughty Spirit. But he did not get back to me. Okay. Number 3. Please remember this. I don't want my wall full of examples of this. I'm not going to give much energy to it. But I think you should remember this in the next few weeks. Actually, you should remember it always. Because there's always these people. When they go low, you fucking rise. So with this one, a lot of people keep connecting into that collective energy. And to me, how it shows up for me, it shows up different for every psychic I know. But to me, that collective energy is right below the clouds. And that's where all the shit is. It's where all the fear is. It's where all the bitching is. It's where all the negative is. It's where all the fighting is. It's where everyone needs to prove that they're right. Go above that. Rise above that. And just be in your own little peaceful space. Okay? Why don't you guys be your own soulmate? And then they'll come. Be the best soulmate you can be for you. And then they'll come. Okay, so that was number 3. So number 1, be your hero. Number 2, meditate the bullshit out. Number 3, rise. Let yourself rise. Someone else wants to be low in your life, let them. You don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to fix it. Just go higher. Number 4, great. I love this card. It's a work in progress for most of us. Your head always has an opinion. Your heart is the part of you that makes the decision. If you make room for your heart to make the decision. Your heart always knows. Your spirit, heart, whatever you want to call it, always knows. Your head will always tell you to stay safe and stay small. Your heart will tell you to expand and grow. Okay? So some of you are working on a decision because number 5 card is also about this. Okay? So your head always has the opinion. Your heart always holds the decision. You just don't always listen to it. Because we don't always like it. We don't always like what our heart is telling us to do. But it's always right. Okay. How many of you pick number 5? How many of you are trying to decide on something? How many of you have a decision in progress? Yeah, and if the cards make sense to you, even though you didn't pick it, that's okay. Okay, how many of you are trying to make a decision? Because this card might help. A couple of you. Some of you I know are trying to decide if you want to go to Sedona with me. Or join Spirit School. Doors are open still, but they're closing soon. Okay, there we go. Several of you. Okay, so here's the answer. And then I'm going to give you the opposite side of it. Okay, so here's the answer. What in the fuck are you waiting for? This is your sign. Make the decision. Just make it. Stop thinking about it, feel about it, and make it. So your head has the opinion, your heart already knows yes or no. So just make the decision. See how that works together? So fun. Okay. Sometimes you can be a mom from a distance. Just take some space, hon. Okay. All right. So, card number 1, be your own hero. Card number 2, meditate it out. Card number 3, they go low, you rise. It will always make sense when you rise. Sometimes you need to rise, and then a lot of times they'll decide to rise. Not every time, but sometimes. Your head thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks. Put the decision back in your heart space. And then trust the process. Here's your sign. Make the decision. And you guys, here's the thing on the decisions. You can always change your mind. There's never a wrong decision because your spirit, your soul already knows where it's going. It already knows what it's learning. It already knows where it's going. We might not be aware of it, but it does. And so it doesn't matter if you go this way or that way because you'll always end up in the same space. Okay? So if you have a hard decision to make, check in with which one feels the lightest, even if you don't like it, because that is hard. Because sometimes you need to make the harder decisions to get the peace, and then the healing can happen. Right? Have you ever made a decision where you're like, all right, I'm done. You finally get some peace, and then all of a sudden the healing happens. Because it's in the thinking, you're just holding that energy hostage. And then you never let it go, so it can't do anything. And this can be big stuff. This can be little stuff. I hold decisions hostage in my head, and creating a space to make a decision is a training. That's why I meditate, so I can calm myself, shut my head off, and then feel the decision. And sometimes it's bigger decisions. Sometimes it's smaller decisions. Sometimes I got to talk the decision out with someone. Sometimes I just need to sit with it. Something doesn't feel right. Like I have these two great opportunities in the next couple of years. And one of them just has never felt quite like, you can see it in my face. Like I'm like, something about it doesn't, it's something I've always wanted to do. Something about it doesn't feel right. This one feels light and bright and like a yes. This one, like you can see it in my face. And I could change my mind in a year and switch. There's never a bad decision, right? And I do think that people need space to create the experience that they're having before the decision is being made. Sometimes decisions are just hell yes. Like when I heard Sunny's going to the Camino, I was like, hell yes, I'm doing that. Absolutely. There's other things that she's done where I'm like, I don't know, I got to sit with that one. And that's what I tell myself. Oh, you know what? Let me sit with it. Let me sit with it and see how it feels. Because either it moves its way out or it just comes around again. Like things I say no to, I'm like, no, doesn't, I don't know what to do. So I'm just not going to make a decision. It will come back around. And so oracle cards can give you a little direction, but I'm not going to give like I've seen people ask pendulums and dowsing rods and tarot cards if they should get a divorce. That is not a decision I would put into a piece of paper. That's a heart decision. That is a decision that you as a human being get to make. I'm not putting that power into a piece of paper. Does that make sense? This might trigger something that helps me feel into it more clearly, That's okay. Sometimes I'll ask a question or I'll want a reading about something and the person will say something and then I'm absolutely they're like, "Oh my God, yes, you should do that." And I'm like, "No, nope, I shouldn't." I'm way more clear as soon as I hear that someone else says, "Oh, you should do that. I totally feel that for you." And then it's like, "No, now I'm clear. I'm not going to do it." So sometimes when people come for readings, I'm like, listen, just because the psychic says it doesn't mean it's true. I might say something that I feel really strongly would be great for you, but that might give you the clarity to trust your own intuition to be like, nope, she's wrong. I should do this. This is my decision. You never give your power away, you guys. These are paper cards. They're great. They have great words on them. They have great energy. They're super fun. But you put your trust in your own heart and in your own space, not into all the tools. Does that make sense, you guys? Tell me that makes sense. Sue, I do at times. I'm not doing readings today, though. I just did a few card pulls. That entire series was a perfect reading. Yay. For sure. Makes sense. Okay. Makes all the sense. Yep. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on Oracle cards or how to use them? So sometimes we'll do a 3-card draw. And what I've been trained, and it does make sense to me, the first card is typically where you're at. The second card is, or no, the first card is what you've been going through. The middle card is where you're at. And then the third card is where you're going, which is a really easy way to kind of do a 3-card draw. I've done really kind of fun readings for people where I will pick a card, 1 card per month for the year, and I do kind of a year overlook. That's a fun way to do it. I think daily draws where you just draw one in the morning is really fun. Like I drew a card for the week. I have these cute little card holders. And so like my card for the past couple weeks has been Divine Support. That's from one of my other decks. But that made sense to me because I was so tired after the Camino and I was sick and I was just not taking enough time to let myself recover and kind of fill back up and get my energy back. And so my spirit kept trying to give me messages like, hey, slow the fuck down. Hey, go outside. Hey, go for a walk. Get in the sunshine. Go do something fun. Like fill yourself back up and also rest and get a little self-care in different ways. And so the Divine Support's been trying to help me. And I was just kind of like, la, 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 la. Nope. I got stuff to do. And so sometimes that card is a great reminder, like, oh yeah, I gotta listen today. Oh, the bonus card. Sorry, nope, Mona, you didn't miss it. Okay, so thank you for the reminder. I forgot I put it to the side. So the bonus card for everyone, which I love this one, and we are in the year of this right now. You are prosperous. Stop telling that fucking story that you're not. So we're in an 8 year. This is all about, the number 8 is all about love and money. And we're in a 8 year as an overall in numerology. Next year, in 2025, we go into a 9 year, which is about releasing things. So we want to get smart about our money this year. And it's not just money. It's our wealth. It's our value. It's our worthiness. It's about, walking through the fear a lot of us have around money right now. How can we manage it differently? What are different opportunities to create income? What can we do with the income we have to make it kind of stretch? Like we're all having to be a little bit more creative. But when you, like one of my stories I always told, always said was, oh my God, I'm so broke. I'm always broke. We're always broke. I'm so broke. I said that. I affirmed it all the time. And you know what? We were broke. And so I had to start affirming something different. I'm learning to thrive. I'm learning about how to be better with my money. I'm learning how to create money. I'm learning how to expand my business differently. I'm learning how to manage money better. Like, I had a lot of learning to do around finances. No one ever taught me. So how am I supposed to learn? I was just telling a story earlier to a client. She's kind of in that spot that I was in. And I was like, oh, I so remember being in that spot. And it's so hard because you start to be aware that you just don't know. You just don't know. Like, no one ever taught me. You just don't know. And I was like, I used to cry in my accountant's chair. Like, every time I saw her, I would start to cry. And she's like, I don't know why you need to cry. But I was ashamed that I didn't know. I thought I should know better and I should do better and all these things. And she's like, until you know, you don't know. And so this is a great year to learn about your self-worthiness, about your value, about getting more comfortable with money. There's a lot of tools out there for women and money. There's a ton of tools. And I always tell people what I realize is there's lots of ways to make money. And right now in the world, oh my God, there's so many ways to make money. There's so many ways. Like, yes, we don't want to do all of them, but you could if you had to. You could go clean houses. You could go strip. You could go sell feet pictures. You could go write a book. You could go teach classes. You could go work at Target. You go work at McDonald's. Like, there's lots of ways. You can go deliver food. You could do all sorts of things. And sometimes you just do the things short term because it helps you pay your bills so you feel more stable. And a lot of people fight against that. I did so many part-time jobs when I was building my business. And there's sometimes days where I'm like, geez, maybe I should go do something. Like, if it's been slow or whatever, I'm like, well, I could do this. I could do that. I could do this. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. So then I get refocused. So there's a lot of energy around money, and money is never the problem. It's all of our stories we talk about around money. Okay. So Cindy says, what do you do when your other half is a downer no matter how much we have? I open a separate account and I have my own money. And I put money in our account and I put money in my own account. Then he can't touch my money with his downerism because I'll make my own money. That's what I would do. I actually have a separate account that is kind of our, like, we have our main account, and then I have my business account, and then I have another account that's just kind of our fun money. Really, it's our vacation money if we want to go to Montana, or camper money, or ski passes money, or whatever. And that's stuff where I just kind of save different bits of money, or if I get paid cash, it always goes into that like fun money jar and things like that. I would just have a separate account because then their downer energy can't touch my money. I make sure my family money is where it needs to be, and we pay our bills and we do all that kind of stuff. But there's no rules out there that says you can't have your own money and make your own money. My job enables me to make more money. I don't have the ceiling that Eli has. He's got a paycheck job, so he can only get paid what they're willing to pay and what they're willing to do for raises and all that kind of stuff. I can give myself a raise by putting a class out there, or I can do some extra sessions, or I can do some evening sessions, or sometimes I open Saturday sessions, or I go work at different expos or things like I have a little bit more freedom to create more. So that's something I can do. He can work overtime, so he still has a way to make more too. And plus Eli's super handy and can do all that kind of stuff on the side if he wanted to. And so for us, it's nice because I'm motivated by vacations. I'm motivated by travel. I'm like, I know if I work for a trip, it's great for everybody because I know I got to pay my bills first and then I can take the trip. So I'm always motivated to work for vacations. And that has been for years. The more fun I have on the books, the more money I'm going to make because I'm going to work harder, because that motivates me. Working to pay the bills doesn't motivate me, but that motivates Eli because he's very much a provider. Like, that is so important to him. And so he's willing to do that piece so I can go do this piece. And so that works. He's cheaper than I am, though. He's way cheap. I'm not that cheap. And so that extra money, I like to have the movement of money. He likes to save the money and make sure we have it and all of that stuff. And so I keep our money moving and he keeps our money growing. Okay. So we have different money mindsets, but we've both kind of figured out a way to make it work. Okay. But I would open a separate account, Cindy, and just have fun, cheery, smiley, happy money in that account, because then he doesn't touch you. Okay. All right. Any other questions on that piece? I love that that's the bonus card. Okay. All right. So for the rest of the week, I won't be on live tomorrow, but I will be live on Wednesday at noon Central, and then I will let you know about either Thursday or Friday. I still have a couple things I am working on that I'm hoping are ready, but they might not be ready yet, so I might have to wait. But for sure, I will be back Wednesday at noon, my friends. Okay. So Spirit School doors are open, but they're closing soon. Okay. Word of the year, that's out. I do have a store that has my Oracle cards and things in it. And I will also be at the Fargo Expo coming up. SOS Expo is coming up on November 16th. And I will be doing the gallery, and then I will have my booth and be doing readings there as well. I won't be at the Bismarck show, but the Bismarck show is on November 9th. So if you are up in Bismarck, I'm not going to be there this year. We have, it's hunting season at the farm, and I just hate to miss it because we do so much fun stuff and we have a cook-off and it's just family fun. And so I won't be in Bismarck, but I will be in Fargo on the 16th. Okay. All right, friends, have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday at noon. And it might be just a titch after noon, but I will see you on Wednesday at noon. Okay. All right, guys, have a great day.